Hey everyone, kind of posting a last minute video here. Found out some terrible news. Um, Kentaro Miura, the author of Berserk, has recently passed away. I literally just learned this 30 minutes ago from an old friend texting me about it. Um, I just wanted to talk about what this means to me, how long I've been a fan of the series, how I'm deeply saddened that Mira has passed away, and other things. So, first, let me talk about how I was first introduced to Berserk. So, when I was still in high school, an older friend of mine had went out to college, and this is where I was from. Broadband wasn't widely available yet, so we were still on, like ISDN crappy internet. And this friend came back from college, and he had a bunch of bootleg DVDs that he had made of anime. Three of them I remember off the top of my head. One of them being Great Teacher Onizuka. The other one was Final Fantasy Unlimited. It was not really good. And Berserk. And he swore that I had to watch Berserk. And he told me it was going to be really weird at first because of the tonal shift after the first episode, but I had to watch it, and so I did. And this was the 1997 anime. So at the time, I wasn't. I didn't know there was a manga version of Berserk. For all I knew, this was an original anime. And I watched it, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with Guts. I fell in love with the Band of the Hawk, Casca, Griffith, the whole deal. The entire medieval war-like setting before the fantasy setting had kicked in. And if you first get into Berserk and you don't start at the beginning, the true beginning, which is the Black Swordsman arc, you don't really get introduced to the fantasy element. So you think it's just a typical medieval war setting. So I got to fall in love with these characters. I fell in love with Rickert and Judo, Pippin, and the entire band. And I'm not trying to deeply spoil it, but I kind of have to just kind of get this how this series had affected me personally. So if I'm going to spoil things, so if that's going to bother you, click off. But in the 1997 anime, the anime ends very abruptly. So when the eclipse happens, you see the entire eclipse up until a certain thing happens to Casca. And then after that, the 1997 anime just ends with a heartbeat, basically. And then you get that haunting music that Suzumu Hirasawa makes at the end. And I remember being freaked out and angry at the same time, really angry because of what was happening in front of me. Because not only did the entire band get slaughtered, but something terrible happened to the character of Casca. And also angry that couldn't be the end of the series. And I remember it had to have been like 3 or 4 in the morning when this happened. I think I skipped school the following day because I was up so late watching this. And I remember getting on the internet and furiously looking at this couldn't be it. This couldn't be all this was. And then I found the manga, and I was relieved to see that the story hadn't ended. And I was also equally confused because the 97 anime leaves out so much. It only gives you 1 episode of the Black Swordsman arc. And so I had to go back and reread everything because the snake count that's in the first episode of the 1997 anime is only one part of that. And then there's the rest of the story with the Count and his daughter, and you do see the God Hand for the first time before it even goes in the Golden Age, so it sets a way different tonal shift. And some people in the Berserk community have always argued that the way it should be introduced is Golden Age, Black Swordsman, Lost Children, Conviction, blah blah blah. I always thought, no, you get introduced to the fantasy elements of the world with the Black Swordsman arc. Then you go back in time. I mean, that's the way the story is supposed to be told. And then I think you're supposed to have this disbelief of what's going on, and stuff hits. So that's how I became a fan of the manga. And I won't lie, at the end, just like we all do, I was reading it online. I didn't start collecting the Berserk in paper until much later. And I have almost all the volumes now, and I also have begun to collect the hardbacks of Berserk. And I do have the DVDs of the Blu-rays of the new movie series. I don't have the 97 anime anymore. I didn't technically have it legally when I watched it back in the early 2000s, I think was a lot of us in the community got involved in the Berserk. It's in the early 2000s. That's when I got into it. Now would be the time to start collecting Berserk. And if you aren't a fan of Berserk and you want to get into it and now you don't because you don't think the story will end, I would say that's a mistake. Yes, the story will not end. And honestly, even if somebody were to continue on with the work, it wouldn't be authentic to me. Miura is Berserk. And yes, he could have left notes and someone could do something with it, but it won't be authentic. I think I talked several episodes ago about Berserk, how I would be fine with his assistants doing the art and then Miura writing the story and doing storyboards. That's still Miura. Miura is still writing the soul of that story. But if it's just notes and storyboards, the soul isn't there, and the work passes on with the man. And that's okay. Some people are going to be very upset that the story is not going to be complete. I'm upset too, but I'm okay with what we have. I can headcanon the rest of it in my head. We got to see Casca back as her old self in the flesh, in the print. We can figure out the rest of ourselves. My great worry is greedy factions that might want to get their hands on Berserk and change it post where this ends. And I really hope that doesn't happen. And if it does, they won't get my money, personally. It's clear if you're in the Berserk fandom, if you want to call it that adaptations of Berserk, even when Miura was still alive, are not very good. They didn't have the love and care that he had for his own manga. So, no matter what, the only way, the most authentic way to experience Berserk is in the manga. It always has been and always will be. But, I mean, you can get more bang for your buck now with that Berserk Muso game. I mean, the game basically ends slightly before where we're at now. I mean, that's a full experience and it's not a bad one. But, I don't know, man. I'm just, this hit me like a ton of bricks. This is my favorite series of all time, and let me tell you, I've read all of the greats. I've read Frank Miller Batman. I've read Frank Miller Daredevil. I've read some of the best arcs, controversial arcs in DC Comics. Hal Jordan jumping in the Green Lantern banner and becoming Parallax back in DC. I have those creds. I used to read those comics. Nothing that I read, even in manga, has ever compared to Berserk in terms of like art, story, characters. Berserk's characters are bar none some of the best. All of them, even the new band that people complain about, I think are good. Berserk is my all-time favorite media property ever made. I can say that with a smile, and I want to thank Miura for giving us this amazing masterpiece. And my heart's broken that he passed away. The story will never be finished, but it's okay. We can finish it in our heads. Yeah, but I just want to express my gratitude for creating this work of art, and I still hope people continue to read Berserk and get into Berserk and create series inspired by Berserk. One of the best video game series we have ever had, I would say Dark Souls and Bloodborne both have elements from Berserk that are definitely inspired by it. We need more of that. Let's us still here take up the torch and create art of our own from our inspirations, where we can carry on that torch. It doesn't have to be just beefed up guys with big swords that are angry. It can be other things. Like it's Berserk is a set of aesthetics, but it's also a tone. There's a tone to it. It's I'll have the music in the background from Suzumu Hirosara, and his tone adds to that series, in my opinion. So yeah, so if you haven't gotten to Berserk, now is a good time to get into Berserk. I would imagine that Dark Horse's printers are going to be flying off the shelves. Usually when these things happen, they do. So if you're into physical media, now's the time to buy. Trust me. It's a good time to buy too because of the hardbacks that they've been creating. It's there's I think the first one I have is like 5 or 6 volumes in one book. I would pick that up. Grab the DVDs of the movies. If you want to get friends into Berserk that are not manga readers, I would suggest the movie trilogy. Maybe then the 2016 anime. I don't know if the Blu-ray fixed a lot of stuff. I didn't buy it. I wasn't really a fan of that adaptation. But at this time, it's all we got. So yeah, I would recommend that to them. Maybe grab the Blu-ray. Oftentimes, once the series is off television and it hits Blu-ray in Japan, they fix a lot of things. I don't know that they did, so I'm not giving you any kind of official anything. But now that that's all we have, I would say pick that up if you can. Grab Berserk and the Band of the Hawk on Steam. Who knows how long those games will stay on those digital stores before they get removed. I think you can grab the physical copy still on PS4 too. So I'm just saying that because I just know how when authors pass away, the availability of the art that you want to buy gets scarce unless they just fire up the printing press. So and then clearly we'll always have digital. Berserk was one of the many manga that I think was introduced to a whole generation of people because of the digital internet. And clearly it wasn't there legally, but fan subs will fan subs, so that's also around there too. And I don't think people should be deprived of that, no matter where you are in the world. So yeah, I had a bunch of videos I was gonna do, but this has just really kind of bummed me out, and I didn't want to not do anything. And I'm literally making this 30 minutes after I found out what happened, and I honestly just want to get on here and talk about it and talk to you guys. We'll have a conversation in the comments about what Berserk means to you, what it means to me. But this is not something I was hoping this would happen. Miura is one of the all-time. It will go down in history as the all-time greats. We'll make it that way. But I don't know. Other news, I think I was reading somewhere that Young Animal is going to be posting some, I don't know, storyboards or some leftover art or something like that. I don't know if I'll be talking about that when it happens. I don't know if it's going to be really relevant to talk about. I don't know how I'm going to take what's going to happen to the property. I don't know who owns it. I'm assuming the family does. I just hope they don't let someone bastardize this. It's up to them. It's not my property, and I have no say so as a consumer, as a fan, or a customer, as a fan. But if someone does I couldn't bear it to see someone just ruin Berserk again. Adaptations just aren't that good, and then also having to fill in an ending. I would just leave it as it is, personally. I don't know. You tell me what you guys think. Tell me in the comments below. If you'd still like to see the series continues, even if there's like notes. I mean, guys, look what happened to Game of Thrones with notes. You know, nobody will be pleased. It's personally, I think it's better to just let it lie, and let our imaginations come up with the ending. So. All right, I'm gonna keep If I need to get out of here, I'm gonna keep rambling. I'm crushed by this, I really am. But yeah, so comments below. Tell me what you guys think about Berserk. Tell me your favorite parts of Berserk. Tell me your favorite art piece by Miura. Yeah. With that, I'm gonna get going. I hope you guys all have a good one. Peace.